Okay, so if you've got a long-haired cat, you know this struggle. One minute their fur is just this beautiful flowing mane, and the next you find this tight, tangled clump that seems to have popped up out of thin air. We're talking about mats, and believe me, they are way more than just an annoying little knot. All right, let's dive in and give you a real plan to deal with them safely and without the stress.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get into why mats are a genuine health problem. Then we'll put together your perfect toolkit. After that, I'll walk you through the exact method for taking them out safely. We'll also build a super simple prevention plan so this doesn't become a constant battle. And finally, we'll talk about the really important signs that tell you it's time to call in a professional. All right, first things first. Before we can even think about tackling these things, we've got to understand what we're up against. What exactly is a mange, and why is it such a big deal for your cat?
And hey, if this whole thing has you feeling totally frustrated, trust me, you are so not alone. This question from a cat owner over on Reddit just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It captures that feeling of trying your best with brushing, and it just isn't enough. It's an incredibly common problem.
So what is a mat, really? It's not just a cute little tangle. Think of it more like a dense, compacted wad of shed fur, skin oils, and dander that just gets tighter and tighter over time. It literally turns into a piece of felt, and once it starts, it just keeps grabbing more and more hair into that knot.
And this is where it gets serious. This is not just about your cat looking a little messy. Mats are a genuine health threat. That constant pulling on their skin is painful. It can even cause bruises. And underneath that mat, it's warm and moist, which is the perfect breeding ground for nasty skin infections. It's also a 5-star hotel for fleas and ticks. It can even get so bad, it actually restricts how they move.
All right, now that we know why mats are such a big deal, let's get prepared to fight back. Seriously, having the right tools makes all the difference. It's the key to a calm, successful grooming session instead of a stressful mess for both of you. This is all about setting yourself up for success.
This slide lays it out perfectly, the do's and the absolute don'ts. On the safe side, you've got your key players, a good metal comb, a slicker brush, and maybe a mat splitter. And then things like cornstarch and a cat-safe spray are your secret weapons. Now, on the right are the things you never use, and I really, really want you to listen to this next part. Let's talk about the big one, human scissors. A cat's skin is super thin and stretchy, and it is shockingly easy to pull that skin up into the mat. You could cause a really serious injury. Just don't do it.
The good news is you don't have to go out and buy a whole bunch of expensive stuff. Honestly, to get started, you just need these 4 things. A solid metal comb does most of the heavy lifting. A slicker brush helps with the surface stuff. A cat-safe spray gives you a little extra slip. And yep, that's right, a simple box of cornstarch from your pantry is an amazing tool for soaking up oils and helping you pull those hairs apart.
Okay, tools are assembled. Let's get into the main event, our step-by-step battle plan. The goal here is just to be calm, be patient, and work with your cat, not against them.
Okay, before you do anything else, this right here is the #1 most important rule. Seriously, you have to anchor the fur. Take your free hand and gently but firmly hold the hair right at the base, against the skin. That way, when you comb or pull, you're pulling against your own fingers, not on your cat's very sensitive skin. This is the biggest game changer. All right, here's the process in 5 simple steps. Step 1, start dry. Never get a mat wet, it just makes it tighter. Use your fingers, maybe with a little cornstarch, and just gently start to tease it apart. 2, if it's a tough one, give it a light spritz with the detangling spray. 3, this one's important, split the mat. Break it up into smaller, more manageable sections. 4, always comb from the outer tips of the fur inward toward the skin. If you start at the base, you're just yanking the entire knot. And finally, step 5, once it's all out, go over the area with a slicker brush to smooth things out, and then do one final pass with your comb to make sure you got everything. And remember, this whole process isn't just about your technique. It's about your cat's state of mind, right? Try to do this when they're already sleepy or relaxed. Keep the session super short. I'm talking 5, maybe 10 minutes max. And always end with an amazing treat to build a positive vibe. And hey, if your cat's had enough, just stop. You can always try again tomorrow. This is a marathon, not a sprint.
You see, getting a mat out, that's just fighting one battle. The real goal here is to win the war, which means stopping mats before they even start. So let's switch gears from being reactive to being proactive.
So what does it take to win this war? You're probably thinking it's some huge time commitment, right?
Nope. For most long-haired cats, the magic number is just 3 to 5 minutes of focused combing, about 3 times a week. That's it. It's such a tiny investment of time for a massive payoff in your cat's health and comfort.
And hey, you don't have to give them a full-body groom every single time. Be smart about it. Focus your energy on these high-friction areas, the mat hotspots. We're talking behind the ears, deep in their armpits, on their belly, and around their back legs, their pants. Oh, and a quick check under their collar is always a good idea too.
Okay, here's a little pro tip that's going to make those quick sessions way more effective. It's called line combing. Instead of just skimming over the top of the fur, use your hand to part the hair so you can actually see a line of skin. Comb out that little section all the way to the root, then move your hand and make a new line right next to it. This makes sure you're getting down to that thick undercoat where all the trouble starts.
All right, let's talk about something really, really important: knowing when to tap out. Sometimes trying to tackle a really bad mat at home can be more painful and even dangerous for your cat. The kindest, most responsible thing you can do is call for backup. So here's your call for backup checklist. If the mat is what we call pancaked, meaning it's super tight and flat right against the skin, call a pro. If it's huge, like a solid sheet of matted fur, call a pro. If you lift the edge and see red, angry, or broken skin underneath, if the mat is in a super sensitive spot, or if your cat is obviously in a lot of pain, just stop what you're doing and make that call.
And please, hear me on this, there is zero shame in getting professional help. None. The number one goal is your cat's comfort. Sometimes, a professional shave is the absolute kindest thing you can do. It gives them instant relief from all that painful pulling. It's a fresh start.
So, at the end of the day, tackling mats isn't about some heroic one-time grooming marathon. It's all about building those small, consistent habits that stop the problem in its tracks. It's about patience, having the right stuff, and knowing when to ask for help. Which brings us to a final thought for you. After all this, what is one small, simple grooming habit you can start with your cat this week?